Creating perspective is one of the leader's primary responsibilities in any organization. Max the Priest said to us that the moment that a leader defines reality, it is an advantage to the whole of the company or the entity that you lead. So as a leader, we develop the skills to, in a very short time, create a perspective that we use to lead our organizations. The challenge is that the people we lead don't often hold the same perceptions we do. So one of the skills as a leader you have to develop is to create an organization where people share perspective. Because the more they see the same thing, the better they can follow the same vision. So it's critical for you as a leader to create a culture where people can create perspective and perceptions as a group of people together following the same vision. So if I hold up my hand today and I ask you how many blue fingernails do you see, you are immediately at a disadvantage because as a follower you have a certain perspective of my hand while I have another perspective. Your problem is I'm the leader, and the weight that my perspective has already places you at a space where you can't compete with what I see. So a leader has to create the culture with his people where he can say, you must help me to understand what you see from your perspective. And sometimes we don't create enough avenues for people to allow us that their perceptions and perspective help us see reality and define it. So I've taught our people a lesson and a sentence that they can ask themselves or ask their personnel to say, help me see what you see. The moment a leader does that, a few things happen. Firstly, the leader validates the relationship of the individual following the leader. The moment that you tell them, help me see what you see, you validate that individual's perceptions. That creates trust, which in essence is what every person wants to see in their companies. The second thing that happens is you validate reality. The fact is, the way that you see reality is your perception, but it's not the whole of the reality. And the moment that you invite other people's perception into that reality, you create an organization where there's a 360 view of what is happening and what reality is like. So it's critical for you as a leader to ask people, help me to understand your perception of reality. The third thing that happens is that you as a leader create a culture where other people's input and perception is honored. And we live in a day and age where every person's opinion should be honored and validated to create a company and a culture of trust. So as I look towards companies now, I see them leading and leaning into their vision, I constantly ask myself, do they share the same perspective? The more accurate the perspective, the better our definition of where we are as opposed to where our vision is, and the more effective our corrections are when we do course corrections as a company. So my question for you is, how regularly do you as a leader sit down and ask someone, help me understand your perspective? Give me your side of the story. Help me see what you see. And from that amount of perception that you glean from people, you create a holistic reality. And when you stand in front of your people and you start to articulate the reality that you as a company or as a leader see, they will feel validated. They will validate reality. And they will validate the truth there is in your company. So as a leader, what do you see? Jesus said, if your eye is not sharpened in its vision, everything that you see will have a shadow cross it. So what is your desire as a leader? What do you see? What do you see happen in your company? But what do your people see? Do they see what you see? Do they have the perspective that you have? You'll see that as you massage this 360 view and perception into your company, people's interpersonal relationships will grow to a new level. They start to speak the same language. They start to refer to the right realities. The whole culture of trust will grow. And that can happen in your family. Can you imagine if you and your wife, or your husband, have the same perception as to where the family is and where it should be going? Can you imagine what will happen if you and your broader family, your children and your nephews and your nieces have the perception that you have of your family, and together you can grow into the vision that you have in your heart. Sometimes creating vision is pressing the pause button and asking your people, what do you see that I don't as a leader? And that'll elevate the whole culture of your company. Let's be leaders that sharpen the eye of our members in our companies and in our churches and wherever we function. Let's be leaders that honor reality by honoring people's perception of reality. And let's create a country and a city where people see together.